I just wanted to go over a few things with float. I know there's a million and one videos already about it, but I've had a couple questions. So I'll just kind of go over a few of the basics and what I look for. Um, okay, float basics. The float is how many shares available there are to trade for us retail traders, where we can exchange trades, shares, buy and sell. They just, those are the shares that are available. It's basically an indicator to see how easily a stock can move. The lower the float, the easier it is to move. It doesn't take much to move them. The lower the float, definitely the more volatile. So you got to watch out. And volume is extremely important, especially in lower float stocks. Uh, what I look for, I mean, I love playing low float stocks. You get the volatility that us day traders crave. Um, they're usually pretty predictable. I look for a float of 1 to 10 million. If I'm certain of the direction the stock will move, if I'm pretty confident it's going to go up, I'm going to long it. If I'm confident it's going to go down, I short it. But I need to be confident in my trade plan in order to play anything under 10 million. Anything over 15 million is a pretty safe play, meaning they don't dump out on you like a lower float would. 15 million is still pretty low, uh, but they seem to be a little more stable, especially with some more volume. Like I was just saying about volume, it's a key indicator. You really got to watch volume if you're playing anything under 10. They can really dump out on you, but on the other hand, they can move up as well very easily. But it's not so much the up. You got to worry about them moving against you. I rarely play stocks over 50 million unless there's a huge catalyst. I find it takes just too much volume in order to move the stock. Uh, I still do play them, but my main go-tos are about 1 to 10, 1 to 20 million, somewhere in that area. Why volume is important. Volume is super important in low float stocks. The lower the float and the higher the volume, the more stable the stock is, and vice versa. The lower the float and the lower the volume, the less stable they are. I had a trade ETRM a couple months ago. I was stupid. I was just looking for a quick red to green move on it. And by the time I could place my order, it dumped out, and it dumped out 80 cents on me. So took a big hit on that. They can move against you really, really quickly. So that's why I'm saying you got to have a plan with those. Here's some of the rules that I go with low float stocks. If you're going to trade low float stocks, you need strict rules in place to protect you because, like I said, they can move against you very quickly. If you're long, they can dump, and if you're short, they can pop, and they go quickly. Uh, Never trade low floats on low volume. I know I've said this a couple times already, but you will get fucked uh, because it doesn't take much to move them. So you need that volume to stabilize that stock. Make sure the stock has a clear catalyst, up or down. You don't want to be playing stocks, longing stocks on no news that are up on no news. You can short the shit out of them if they're up on no news. That makes for a really good catalyst. Sometimes no catalyst is a catalyst. I always take the safe trades on super low floats, which are under 2 million. Those are the gimme patterns, something that's up on really good news. Mind you, a lot of the news on low float stocks it's heavily manipulated, but you got to have a catalyst with those. You absolutely have to. And the safe trades, the good, easy setups, good risk to reward. You want a really tight stop with low floats as well, because like I said, they can move against you really quick. Uh, and never trade stocks under 1 million in float. People do it and people make money at it, but I would bet that you would end up losing more than you're going to win with those. They're way too volatile for me. They're definitely not my cup of tea. yeah, I definitely stay away from those. Here's just a couple. I have a couple chart examples. Here is FNBC, which is still fresh in everyone's mind. This was the big day it was up. And this is an example of float rotation. I believe there was 89 million shares traded, and you can see here in this yellow, that's 15, almost 16 million in float. It rotated its float, meaning it changed hands almost 6 times. That's why you get these big upward movements. That's when with low floats, if you got a lot of volume and float rotation kicks in, you're going to get big, powerful moves, and that's exactly why this stock went up so high. I mean, it's absolutely amazing what can happen with a lot of volume on these low floats. They're life changers. Here's an example, ETRM. This isn't the trade I was talking about earlier, but it just shows like there's no volume. You can see it's very low volume and big candles. And once they start going against you, it can be pretty difficult to get out. This might not be the best example, but it's one I just pulled up on short notice just because I fucking hate this stock. ETRM is my absolute nemesis. I will never play it again. Never. Well, I might short the shit out of it. I shouldn't say never. But yeah, it's they can move against you really quick. This is an example of a high flow. You can see the difference in how it moves. You see how fluid it moves. There's no big dumps, no big surges. You see the price scale here. It takes a lot. I believe, I think this had a total of 42 million shares traded. This was, I believe, from Friday. So it just shows that the higher float, it has 775 million float. Fair size market cap as well. Um, I have a tendency to stay away from it. It's actually up today. It was on my watch list for a continuation, but it's not my style of stock. The float is way too high. Like I was saying, I have a tendency to gear more towards 20 and under. They definitely move for you. All you need is a little bit of volume, and they can really make you some nice money. But float is very important. It's a big important indicator, fundamental indicator that people really need to pay attention to. A lot of new traders they don't think about the float because they're just not aware of it. And like I said, I know that there's a lot of videos on float, and I hope this helps out a little bit. But float is it's super important, and if you're, especially for day trading, for swing trading, you can get away with a higher float because you're looking for more long term. But on the short term, you want something that's fairly low float. The only way I'll trade a higher float is if there's a massive catalyst, your Apples and Teslas and everything else. Uh, Another group of stocks I like to play that I didn't add into this was the low float but higher price stocks. Your AAOIs. What else? I think Kara might be one. There's some good ones out there. Um, those are really good as well. But I'm more trying to talk to the people with the smaller accounts, and you want the best bang for your buck. You don't need a lot of shares, and some of these stocks, I mean, they can just fly. They can rip. Especially if some shorts get squeezed, you're looking at a point or two gain. I mean, you take 1,000 shares, a $3,000 investment on a $3 stock. I mean, you're laughing. They can easily move a point for you. I mean, that's $1,000 of easy money. And like I said, I mean, I hope this helps. I know there's a lot of videos that are already out there, but like I said, I did get a couple questions, so I hope this helps a little bit. But if there's any questions, just shoot me a comment, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can, and let me know if I'm missing anything or anything else like that. So I'll let you guys go, and thanks for listening. Like and subscribe. Thank you.